Welcome to communication skills, which are necessary for life. Did you know that it is impossible not to communicate? We communicate constantly and at home, at school, at work, with our parents, with children, siblings, friends. We communicate constantly. Even when we choose not to communicate, for example, you give someone, the silent treatment, you're still communicating your feelings by your actions. Communication is the process of exchanging thoughts, messages, or information between two or more people. There's a certain criteria for effective communication, and one out of it is eye contact. Be sure to get eye contact with the person that you're speaking with. To be an active listener. Did you know that active listening is actually not just hearing the person, but it's really receiving the information and processing it and knowing what they're talking about? Another example of effective communication criteria is responding and then feeding back. So taking that information that they've told you, and then so they feel heard, you can give them information in regards to what they are stating. Make sure that you have effective communication, because if you don't have effective communication, look at this, clear message can really appear to be blurry. That means that somebody may not really be understanding you, so make sure that it's clear. We're going to watch this short video clip of an example of ineffective communication and what happens when we ineffectively communicate.
Hello. How much are they asking? Well, that's a lot of money for a deck. Well, I hate to tell you this, but you're getting robbed. Did you hear me? You're getting robbed.
Now that was an exaggerated form of miscommunication, but it does show you what happens when other people, you're trying to convey one message and somebody hears something else. Let's talk about the different types of communication. Verbal communication includes anything with the spoken word, which, examples are your speeches, language, conversations, and your tone of voice can show different types of communication. Written examples of communication includes letters, books, text, your text messages, your emails, and we do a lot of emailing at Georgia Cyber Academy. And let's do an example of an effective email. The basics for your email when you're emailing a teacher or your counselor or your administrator, it's always good to include your name and subject, your student ID in the subject line, and then also put a little dash, maybe a topic of what it's in reference to. If you're emailing a teacher about a specific class, make it clear. Make your first name, your first initial, your student ID number, and then about the particular class, like chemistry, section 6, so they know exactly what you're talking about. Always check for spelling, punctuation, and grammar errors before you send. I know a lot of programs do this automatically, but be sure to pay attention to that. I want you to watch this video on how the best way to email your teacher. Other types of communication are nonverbal communication, and that means like what your body is saying, what's your body language, your gestures, your eye contact, your posture, your dress, and your symbols. I want to show you another video. I promise this is the last, that illustrates this and is really interesting.
I don't know, I'm telling you. I can do it.
Let's take a closer look at nonverbal communication, or kinesics. It's estimated that nonverbal communication is 93% of the messages that we do receive, so always keep that in mind. And it's said that communication is made up of 7% of words, 38% of those words are spoken, and 55% of those are nonverbal cues. So here's some communication do's. Listen and look the person in the eyes. Ask questions, hear a person out, and resist distractions, and be open-minded and assume responsibility in a dialogue. And here are some don'ts. Please don't interrupt, raise your voice or yell, call names or label, blame, force or threaten, laugh at people, assume you understand. Don't make snap judgments, and offer advice when you're not asked for it. Don't give them advice. And so in summary, when we talk about communication skills, they will be used in all aspects of your life, your relationships such as dating, friendships, and even as a parent or a child, your work or school situations, your employers or other employees, and as a student in high school or college with your teachers, students, and other personnel. So make effective communication skills part of your necessary life skills.